Hi everyone. So I am Neha Bhalodia and I will be the host for today's meeting. We are in week 14. Today is our Monday burndown meeting. So please be aware that this meeting, Kubernetes community meeting, which means it abides by CNCF code of conduct, which pretty much comes down to please be nice and excellent to each other. And a friendly note that this meeting is being recorded and the recording will be posted to the Kubernetes public YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, please feel free to turn off your cameras and audio. Thank you. So with that, we can move ahead to the open discussion items. Anyone has anything for open discussion?
No.
Uh, cool. So let's move to the team updates. Let's start with enhancements.
Hey everyone, our status is green. There are much updates. One thing I want to share is that the PR for adding the exceptions.yaml file to the the SIG release repo has been done. So we had some back and forth regarding whether or not to include a PR, which was so basically one cap was it was decided that we won't graduated to beta. So there is an open PR for upgrading this feature kit. So that is still open. So that PR, okay, it is decided to include that open PR as well in the YAML. So I'll push that change now and should be ready.
Yeah, I can add a bit. So we were having discussion. I just give me a second. Um, so Sriram, Nia, and we were having a discussion on release enhancements. The context is we had received an exception request. I don't recall what was the cap number. Uh, the original idea for that cap was to be graduating to beta this cycle, and we had approved the exception request for that particular request. Um, but they did not make it in their additional time allotted to them as part of the exception request. But the PR actually had, sorry, the CAP actually had some PRs for improvements and staying in alpha. So we did not remove them from the enhancements board because they had some work done during 127, 129 release cycle, and the some code was merged into KK for from that particular CAP. Um, so I think the doubt there was, since we received that exception request, do we want to add that to exception.yaml file? And do we want to add every single PR that we received as part of that exception request email? I think what I personally gave as a suggestion was we add every data we received from the exception request email from the author, because exception.yaml is just a log for from a particular release cycle, that these are all the exceptions we received as part of code freeze and enhancements freeze. And this was all the data that was provided to us from the authors. Anybody has any comments on whether we should include any open PRs? So the PR in question is actually for promoting that cap to beta, but that cap was not promoted to beta or graduated to beta. uh, yeah, I hope I was able to clear it a bit. But if nobody has any comments, I think we can go ahead with adding all the data that we received from the email. Yeah, that would be true to what we got from the email. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and later on what you made sense, because it should be a log of all the information that we received in the exception request. So I've just added that. Basically, I've added it to the PR right now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so any questions for enhancements?
I had one quick one, which was just I know that we had deprecation and removal set to 0, but I did think that we were removing the providers from in tree. Does that just mean that there's no deprecation
Yeah.
associated with that?
So that's a very tricky one. I think
Mhm.
I also got confused on that one because we are tracking not just one, actually two enhancements in our board as type deprecation removal. But uh, talking about the very specific example you just mentioned, we are not removing any in-tree cloud provider per se. We are flipping two flags.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So in past, I think 126 and 127, it was a deprecation, like it was tracked as deprecation or removal, I believe, because we actually removed in 126 AWS cloud provider code from the
Mhm.
Kubernetes source code, and in 127 we removed OpenStack. This cycle we are not removing any cloud provider source code from Kubernetes core. What we
Mhm.
are doing is we are flipping two flags, which basically will render any cloud provider code that's already present in Kubernetes like null and void. Um,
Okay.
the so that's going to be a breaking change, because if somebody is actually expecting those code, those logic that are there in Kubernetes source code to work, that will stop working if they upgrade their clusters to 129. So it's not really a deprecation removal actually happening this cycle. Uh, but I think one we can definitely um, count as deprecation. That's the other one. I think it's 4004 kep, where we are actually deprecating a flag. So maybe Sriram, can you like uh, maybe check that one? It's 4004 if I recall correctly. It's from the enhancements board. It's just like deprecating one flag. That's all. Some flag that Cube API server does not understand. Something on those lines. Maybe I
Priyanka,
can.
is not the
Yep.
enhancement that I put as a comment, the 2395?
Um, just give me. So no, 2395 is the one that flipping two flags this cycle. So the name is removing entry cloud provider. The intention is to remove all the cloud provider at some point, but
Mhm.
they have not removed any cloud provider code this cycle. Just flip two flags. Uh, I think 4004
Yeah,
is the
Priyanka, I
other
think
one.
the one you mentioned, like I've pasted the link in the chat, the Zoom chat, 4004, like you mentioned, that
Yeah.
is indeed like deprecating node info queue proxy version field.
So I
So
think like yeah, we should track that as deprecation. Maybe like add that would be like
like,
a comment to release notes and comms team as well. Maybe do the required in our release blog for that. But it's a
and
very like nominal change.
like looking back at the notes, I can see that up until the code freeze, we were tracking deprecations as 2, after which I guess like, it was not removed from the board, but I'm not sure the exact reason
It's
we.
not removed. I think the last I saw on the board, it's there, but it is there as type deprecation removal, not status deprecation removal. Maybe that's the
Hmm.
confusion
Okay.
there. And thank you, Mickey, for bringing that. This
Yeah, I
like
should have honestly asked about it like 6 weeks ago. I just didn't really think to do so until now.
I actually checked it, but still did not think this
So,
way. We are not. Yeah.
so Priyanka, just to confirm, when I'm looking at the board, I can see there are 2 keps with type deprecation, but one of them is the removing in-tree cloud providers, which you just mentioned that the change is like minimal. So,
Yeah, that is not removing anything this cycle. I mean, the name is remove entry, but at least from the blog
right.
that's coming out, there is a blog that I think that's coming out from SIG cloud provider where they are explaining what is happening in 129. And the only thing they have described there is they're flipping two flags, and that's all that's happening in 129. No
Okay.
cloud provider code is being removed. So
Okay. So
yeah.
the type, like, does it make sense to keep it as deprecation or should we change it to
I think we can
something
keep
else?
the type as it is, because at some point it's actually like a removal type
Okay.
of cap, but we should like definitely change 4004 to deprecation, or whatever is like the correct word, so that other teams
Yeah,
can.
it is like in the board, it is marked as deprecation only in the meeting notes where we mistaken.
Okay. Carol, I'm seeing in the chat 2395 is not a deprecation for this cycle.
Okay, because I think we wrote the middle block like this, like a
Oh,
deprecation.
yeah, but I think it's okay because this is definitely like where we need people's eye. It's a breaking change, and if people read it like as part of the deprecation, I'm perfectly fine. I think it would be something like we can start a thread with the SIG cloud provider people to just get a understanding if my understanding is correct. But all I'm saying is after reading their blog, um, the blog that's I think in under review right now, what they are explaining, what changes they have made in 129 is just flipping two flags and not really removing any cloud provider code. Um, Two cloud providers were removed in 126 and 127. Three are still there. So no actual removal is happening in 129. Yeah. But if they did not have any objections, us mentioning as a deprecation last cycle, I think they were not aware as well. That's what I uh, got from the discussion on the blog. So they want to like really put out a blog as well. um, I think I'll just comment on that blog asking them if it's a deprecation, like did they remove anything at all this cycle, but so far no removal. If I get something, Sriram, maybe I'll ask you to flip that
Yeah.
status on the board. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you again, Mickey.
Okay, so now let's move ahead with the CI signal.
Hey everyone, so we are red/yellow because we are observing a failing test on master blocking as well as 1.26 to 1.29 blocking all the dashboards. Most probably this is an infra issue, but folks are triaging it and it may be a mix of both, like an infra issue as well as some tweaks in the test. So this is currently blocking, and apart from that, we would be transferring approximately 12 to 13 flakes to 1.30. And the reason why the number of flakes in the cycle is so high because we have actively starting using triage. So triage is basically Kubernetes aggregator. So it would aggregate all the test failure across different jobs. So this gave us better visibility into, gathering information about whether the test is flaking or not. So yeah, that's the update from our side.
um Thank you. I have like a bit off topic question, Bill. Did we add
Mhm.
like any knowledge, any um KT around this new tool that we discovered during 129 and started using actively in the
Actually,
handbook?
yeah, this is mentioned in the handbook, and this was mentioned before also, but I don't, this was not discussed in any of the release cycles that I've been involved in. This was like a small point in the release handbook, so there is a high chance that somebody could just step over this point. But now I have mentioned it in a few different places so that we don't skip this because this is a really important tool.
Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing that. That's all.
Yeah.
Hello
Thank you.
everyone. From Bactriage, our current status is green. No blocking issues. Only one is the same as for CI signal. It's with ingress failing, and other one some failing pods, and third it's just known issues placeholder. So status is green. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Bugtrage? Okay, if not, then let's move ahead with the docs team.
Hey y'all, the doc status is currently green. All outstanding PRs targeting the Dev 129 branch, including some outstanding fix-ups, are now merged. The branch sync is open, but I do have to make a couple of changes to it due to a couple of things that have been reverted now. And the release schedule PR has also been updated to reflect the delayed release. So we are all good. I can freeze the website repo today if you want me to, Priyanka, but I was gonna give it until next Monday, just in case.
Yeah, I just was following, I think, one fix up PR where um, somebody wanted to add a missing flag documentation for 129 as well, which actually went to main. But I think that issue was also closed sometime today. My
Yeah, so
work day.
there was a change that was implemented in 128 that wasn't documented, as
Yeah,
it turned out. And so two PRs had to be opened for that change, one targeting main and one targeting Dev 129, and both of them are in.
yeah, okay. So I think I'll leave that decision to you because I think you all are
Okay.
more uh, experts on dockside. If you think like we should freeze this week, end of this week, we should do that, or Monday, that is also fine.
I'll put one more shout out into the SIG docs and release docs channel and see if anybody's got any latent fix-ups they want to get in this week. And if no, I'll go ahead and freeze.
Yeah, because if we leave less stuff for Monday, I believe
It's better. Yeah.
yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Also, maybe like something for the release date. Uh, do we need to do any like access admin level changes to provide like release docs team some level of admin access? Is that needed to be done
So
on
I
the
will
release
need
date?
some I'll need elevated access, but I
Okay.
ask for that elevated access the day before. So the day before the release, I will be on airplanes until about 6:30 p.m. US Central Time, but that's not an issue. Natalie knows that. So she'll give me the elevated access I need while I'm in the air,
Okay. So
and then
if
I'll be ready
if
to go Wednesday
we
morning.
know where we need those elevated access, I think it would be through some PR, if I'm understanding correctly. Uh, if
Uh,
we have it documented somewhere, I can maybe like have the PRs ready this week
okay.
only.
Yeah, it's documented in the docs handbook. I'll tell you what I need. Some of it's SIG docs typically grants, so Natalie or
Okay.
Ray.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'll get you a list of the things I'll need to have on release day, just so you're aware.
Okay. If like we need to do something through K-org, through some PRs,
Mhm.
I just wanted to be sure like the PRs are ready for you and we just need LGTM approve on the release date and nothing
Okay.
else is left. So yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Great. So, any question for Doc's team? Okay, let's move ahead with the release notes.
Hi everyone. So for our updates, the PR for RC1 was merged sometime last week. And then in terms of pending tasks, our lead is planning to do a final review of everything that we've done so far, especially with the change logs. And then I think it still needs to be confirmed whether we're going to add major themes to the release notes as well. So that's something that's pending. But overall, our status is green.
Um, thank you, Rashan. I think we close. So Frederico and other folks were having a discussion around that, whether to include major themes in the release notes or not, and we I think decided on not to include them. So
Okay.
Frederico is aware, but just an update on that. And also from the enhancements discussion, we figured out 4004 uh, would be a deprecation this cycle. I don't know if we need to do anything extra from what we are doing already in release notes. But can you like discuss that with the team and check if we need to do something to make sure that is marked as a deprecation this cycle in the
Okay.
release notes? Thank
Okay,
you.
will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for release notes? Okay, if not, let's go ahead with the counts team.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, our current status is yellow, and mainly it's because release block that we are continually improving. Already I update the logo and the webinar date. We also update the new dates for the features blocks that you can check in the GitHub project. And I think will be in updates. Will be my updates. Well, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Carol. I just have a question. Like, did we close the thread with CNCF on the interview schedule? I think they were requesting three major themes, and we were having a discussion
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah, I will do it, Raja. I was missing that. It's
Um,
I will reply in the I think in the discussion will be the best that we already have an idea what will be the three measures, and I will put it there only for put more comments if they have same opinion on the other stakeholders.
okay. I was also thinking like just going through the enhancements recently, we just 2395 would definitely be one of the caps we'll want to highlight as a major theme, and I think few more are already there. If we can just send out three to have them like start their outreach, CNCF start their outreach to the PR media people, if they want to schedule anything, that would at least give us a heads up beforehand for any interview they want to schedule with us. So I can also start like a DM group between you, Mickey, and uh, myself and team, and we can have a discussion there. What do we really want to send to CNCF? If that would help closing that email.
Yeah, I was thinking to officialize this in the discussion that is everyone there, even the sick owners that in our opinion this will be our main three topics, and put a resume there and everyone can see it also.
Okay.
What do you think?
Um,
The
then
the
let's
discussions
do that.
will be release notes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree. I think let's do this. Maybe like we send them now. I think it's
Yeah,
early during PST time zone, and by end of the day, like if nobody comments or objects, we send those three to the CNCF email
yeah,
to close that loop. Yeah.
yeah. I forgot it about that. So I will do it
Uh,
after this meeting, and I will only officialize there in
yeah, perfect.
these main
That
topics. Okay.
sounds perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll also start a DM group, so y- we can also help you there if you need anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for comms team?
I saw there were a bunch of suggested changes from Tim this morning. Carol, if you'd like, I can just go through and start committing the suggestions.
About the blog, yeah, I already
Yeah.
merged all the suggestions.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, but if you have more improvements, I am trying to daily try to merge all the improvements on fixes about grammar or anything.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so let's move ahead with the release branch management. Okay, I don't see.
Um, I think the update would be more around RC2, since we moved, postponed the release date from December 5 to December 13th because of the pre-announcement of Git Go Golang releases. We decided to add another RC2 candidate cut as well, which is scheduled for December 7. And I think that would be the major update from Jim or Mark at or release management in general at this point. Yeah, we'll start the process after December 5 business hours once we have more information on the CVs and how they are impacting us. And release date is postponed to December 13, just a FYI to everyone.
Thank you, Priyanka. So, any questions regarding release? Okay, if not, let's move ahead with the EA. Sender.
Yeah, only thing on my side is we will be moving the retro with the release date being bumped. We're gonna push the retro to next week. So I believe that's gonna be next Tuesday. I will get an updated invite sent out to folks shortly. That's all I have this week.
Thank you. Any questions for EA? Okay. Priyanka.
Yeah, I think from me, other than the release date now pushed to December 13th and RC2 scheduled on December 7, the only other update from me is so we currently have these meetings, release meetings scheduled till December 5, which is tomorrow. I don't think we have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow as well. I'll check. But after that, I'm going to move all our meetings to async Slack threads on SIG release. Yeah, that's the update. We'll not have any meetings after today, which I realize is the last meeting for 129. So thank you all for joining. For all other updates till the release date, we'll use Slack threads. And if we need a meeting at any point, just maybe like put an update in advance. We can come on async calls if we really need to discuss anything. We can have at least the lead shadows come on the call and any particular particular role, lead and team. Yeah. Before in general, our burn down updates will follow Slack threads on SIG release channel. That's all from me.
Thank you, Priyanka. Any questions for release lead? Okay. So from SIG scalability, I see it's green. So I guess we are now done with the team updates today. Anyone have any questions like they want to discuss on the recording? Okay. If not, then I will go ahead and stop the recording.